Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second of the Digital LNS cybersecurity sessions on 20th September 2023. And we'll go through welcome instructions. We'll have a presentation from Steve Borwell-Fox. We'll do Q&A. We'll do any asks people may have, and then we'll briefly refer to the next session, which will be about frauds and scams with the speaker to be confirmed. So if I just introduce our speaker for today, it's Steven Borwell-Fox, who's the director of CYBX. He's a graduate with an electronic engineering degree and an interest in software engineering and tech. Steve founded Borwell Limited in 2003, and the team supports businesses, prime contractors, and governments. Steve's also director of Midland Cyber, one of the many UK C3 cyber clusters in the UK. He was asked to be director of this organisation to help signpost and support the many businesses in a diverse range of sectors in the Midlands in their journey to improve digital security. Steve's team has worked with customers in an agile way to design and deliver digital products which allow them to do business better, typically replacing paper forms and spreadsheets with a new system. The CYBX team works with customers to test and assure their people, processes, and technologies, indirectly improving supply chain security to prime contractors and governments. The products the teams develop are also available on a per user per month software as a service model. So welcome everybody, and welcome Steve. We're delighted you be with us today.
Brilliant. So yeah, good afternoon. So I'm Steve. Any questions, just ask them, or there's time at the end as well. And I'm happy to do this session again. So if any of your staff or any other organisations, charities, community members, people, whatever you want, we can do this again. And like Pauline said, I'd rather do this in person. Actually, I find it much more interactive, and people are a lot more kind of absorbing of the information and sharing. And you hear other people going, oh, we've got that thing as well. So you end up getting a bit of a community feel to it, and it's a bit like we're all in this boat together in the storm. So don't worry, we can all help each other. Okay. So I've called this tips and tricks. So this is actually a 2 to 3 hour training course we do. Okay. So I'll whiz through it, but if there's anything particularly at the end that I haven't covered and you want to, I can always meet you in Birmingham for a one-to-one and go through something specific. Okay. So that's me. So I've done that. It's my contact details, and it's on the end as well. So you can email me with anything that you don't want to say in sort of public, because I'm really concerned about this. You know, what should I do? Okay, so that'll be on the end anyway. So first question is, what is cybersecurity? Okay, so it's basically the convergence of people, processes, technology, all of that together, and it's there to protect your organization, the people, and the networks, the computer networks from digital attacks. So think about a room full of people and servers and laptops and all your data and hard drives and everything. You're trying to keep everything in that room safe as possible. Okay. So cybersecurity is kind of the practice of protecting all of that lot from any digital attacks of people trying to get into that stuff. Okay. So implementing the cybersecurity measures is really challenging today because there are more devices than people. So if you say a company or charity's got 10 people in it, there's probably 10 laptops, computers, mobile phones, iPads, all sorts of stuff, phone systems as well, servers, cloud-based stuff. You'll have more electronic devices than you've actually got people. Okay, so it's everywhere. And then you open a drawer and you find memory sticks. Oh my goodness, where are they from? What's on that? It's everywhere, isn't it? And it's really hard because that stuff seems to move around. And people get new phones and they don't wipe their old ones. They get new laptops and they put the other one in a cupboard, and there's still data on those things. So it's really hard. Okay, so don't beat yourselves up. It's a really hard thing to try and keep control of this stuff. Okay, and then obviously you need to have cybersecurity controls in any business or organization that deals with sensitive data online. And that's pretty much every organization, isn't it? You know, everyone would say their data is sensitive, whether it's public information or information about children or vulnerable adults or customers or whatever. So really you want to protect all your data. So information assurance, okay, this is basically the practice of assuring the information. So this is more like your procedures and your governance stuff. Okay, so computer security, cybersecurity is the kind of more the computers, the physical devices. Information assurance is more like your processes, okay, about who gets access to stuff. Yeah. So if you have a work experience student, you don't let them access the bank or Xero or Sage. They don't get access to all the CRM systems. You would have like a low end user account that work experience student would have minimal access to systems while they're with you for a day or a week or whatever. And that's all done by procedures, isn't it? And your governance stuff. So that's information assurance. Okay. So data breaches this year, there's loads of these going on. And this is why it worries all of us, because it's in the news every day. Every week on the BBC website, Sky News, there's this breach and millions of this data has gone and billions of these records. So far this year, there's been 73 major breaches, 79 million records breached, 767 breaches overall. Millions and billions of records have gone out. The biggest one this year so far was Twitter. 220 million records breached, username, password, and that. So if those people's password is using another system, say like Facebook, for example, you've got the same Facebook password as Twitter, effectively somebody could work out from that Twitter username and password that it's probably Facebook as well, and it's probably Instagram and others. So if you reuse the same password, you're kind of in trouble, because if one system gets hacked and those passwords get stolen, you're probably going to end up having other systems that people could access as well. The most breached sectors, and this probably scares you guys the most: healthcare number 1, education number 2, public sector number 3. And I would guess from Pauline's community and you guys here, and my experience of Pauline's great NNS projects before, most of you probably fall into healthcare, education, and public sector, community services, etc. Okay, so you're actually at a higher risk than businesses. Yeah. And it's because the hackers perceive that charities, community organizations spend less money on IT security. And if you're a charity, you've probably got money because you're collecting money in from grants or people that are making donations to hospices, that kind of thing. So actually, you've got perceived low tech and high cash. So it makes you kind of a bigger target. Yeah. Earlier on this year, the Electoral Commission, 40 million people's personal information was stolen from the UK Electoral Register. So all of our names, addresses, all that stuff taken. So that's all out there. So now the hackers effectively can get hold of that information and wash that against other data and work out somebody's name, somebody's address, and other information from it. So all this data leaking all the time is allowing people to build up more, criminals to build up more information about profiles of people. Okay, so it's really, really hard. And these are not our fault. This is just because whoever secured the Electoral Commission system didn't do a very good job of it and didn't test it, which is quite worrying, because that's quite a key, that's every UK citizen, isn't it, is in that system. Pôle Emploi, that's a French employment agency. They both get 10 million records. So there's 10 million French people have had the same thing as us. Their data's out there. University of Minnesota, 7 million social security numbers. And if you know anything about the US, a social security number in the US is effectively your identity. So if you've got a social security number, you can register for services and things and stuff just with that. And there's a video chat platform called Tigo. I just put it here sarcastically, a mere 700,000 people's information. Doesn't sound much, does it, compared to the others? But these are all sort of incidents. And yeah, the cost of a breach for a small business or charity, it will cost you a few £100 up to about £5,000 for the cost of the breach. Yeah, never mind the reputational damage and the stress and the worry and all the other factors that you can't see. That's just the monetary value of it. 2.39 million cases of cybercrime have affected UK businesses in the last 12 months. So it's happening every minute, every hour. 49,000 fraud incidents were actually as a result of cybercrime. So criminals getting into systems and then basically defrauding the business because of that. 75% of charities actually have done a really good job.
Sorry. Please mute yourself while Steve is speaking. Thanks very much.
This is why I prefer doing things in person, because I know people are present rather than on the phone in the background. Yeah. So the good news is 75% of charities kept internal records of their cyber threats and were actively on this. And actually less than that, 68% of businesses did the same. So charities know that they're a target and they're actually ahead of business in trying to protect themselves. So I thought that was a really good statistic, actually. So compliments to any of you here that are already taking action, because you're actually taking it a bit more seriously than some of the businesses are. Yeah. And 11% of UK IT budgets are spent on security. So again, that number might be helpful. So those of you that are on the board or have got financial impact on your organization, you might want to say to your board, how much do we spend on IT per year? Work out what 11% of that is and ask them if that's being spent on security. And if it's less than that, you probably want to spend more. Okay, but I thought that was quite a useful stat, just to give people here an idea of what should we be spending per year. So 11% of your overall IT budget should be on security. Sounds about right, actually, considering the cost of laptops and computers and hardware and software, that a percentage of that is actually spent on securing those things. So physical security, this is a whole section now about physical security. Now, some of these things you probably already do. So when you're in the office or at home, or you're working mobile, we've got bring your own device and public places. So I'm going to cover a few things here about how to protect yourselves when you're sort of out and about. So even in the office is a place where you've got to be careful. You need to basically have a clear desk policy. So we went paperless about 3 or 4 years ago. So there's no documents online, there's no papers, no printers, no shredders, no scanners. Basically, there's nothing that paper-wise that anybody could steal in our office if they broke in. Yeah. Also, you've got to be aware of like nosy visitors. Yeah. Visitors like to have a look around and what's going on to people's desks and stuff. So just be really careful about having visitors go around your floor plates. You know, you should go to a meeting room and then the toilet and then back out. You shouldn't really take them around the office plan. It's nice to show people around, but if people have got documents on the desk and there's something there, you know, it's not good practice. When you go away from your computer, if you're using Windows, do Windows key and L for lock. Okay. So even I do it at home, right? Windows lock, go to the toilet, go make coffee, come back again. So do it in the office, do it at home. Just always lock your computer before you leave it. Yeah. And if you're on the phone, shut the door. Sounds really obvious, but people earwig, and you hear it on the train. You hear half a conversation, and you make up the other half. You do, because we're nosy, aren't we? Right? You hear half the conversation, you kind of fill in the gaps. It's completely wrong, but you're, oh, that sounds really bad. Or you don't know if they're firing someone or giving them a pay rise because the way they're explaining things. Yeah. And if you're in the office making a call, move to another area in the office, just away from people or away from visitors. Yeah. And if you've got any cabinets, pedestals, that, lock those before leaving the premises. All right. So you probably do this kind of stuff already, and this is part of physical security. Yeah. Home working as well. There's a lot more people obviously home working now. So reduce your data to a minimum. So when you leave the office, only take on your laptop the bare minimum information you've downloaded. Yeah. Try and keep your download folder empty or empty-ish. So you should only be taking the things you're working on your laptop, work on them offline, check them into SharePoint or upload them to your file server or OneDrive, whatever you use, and then delete them locally. So if anybody stole your laptop or the laptop caught fire, there's minimum information on there that you're going to lose. Yeah. Delete everything afterwards and then upload it, delete it, and then done. And again, when you're working from home, lock your screen. If you're using your own computer, which you shouldn't be really, you should be using an organization device, not personal computers, because you might have people like children and your partner or whatever who work for different companies, different organizations, sharing that computer. It's not good practice to share that stuff. So ideally use your organization's hardware. Shut down your computer fully at the end of the working day so it's offline. So no hacker overnight can access that laptop because it's not on. It's literally turned off. Yeah. And again, at home, tidy away logbook, notes, papers at the working day. So clear desk policy at home as well. Mobile, obviously, we do a lot of stuff like you guys probably traveling on the train, going to Birmingham and back, meeting up with each other. So if you're offsite working at a customer, or you're on a train, or on an airport, or in a hotel or a coffee shop, effectively you are in a public place. Okay, so be wary of shoulder surfers, dubious Wi-Fi hotspots. Don't use those. Tether to your mobile phone. All right, do not use Wi-Fi hotspots because they can be faked. Use your phone. Go onto your phone, do the hotspot, connect to that, do your thing, disconnect. Okay. Laptops being for business use should have full disk encryption. When that laptop is shut down, if somebody stole it, you know, or you got mugged, you just hand them the laptop, say have that. It's not worth anything. The hard drive is fully encrypted. They're going to have to take the disk out, go and buy a new hard drive. All you've lost is a laptop worth a couple £100 at best. Okay, so try and do that. If the laptop's not fully shut down, it's in sleep mode, it's still active. That disk is unencrypted. The data can be accessed. So I know sometimes you go, oh, quickly, I've got to leave. I've got to get the train or whatever. Shut your laptop down fully. All right, it's worth it. If you miss the train, fine, but shut that down fully. That's the only way it'll be fully encrypted. And if you've got a physical key like a dongle you use, keep that separate from the laptop. Obviously, don't put it in the bag with the laptop. So somebody nicks your laptop bag, they've got the key and the laptop. So put the key in your pocket or your jacket or your handbag and the laptop in a separate bag. Okay, some of this is obvious stuff, but you probably do this already, yeah? And then again, I've said shut your laptop down fully. Bring your own device, so BYOD. If you've heard of this, it's basically a cop out for an organization not spending money on IT. Okay, it's not good practice. So I'm going to cover it anyway. So this is personal devices. So it could be a mobile phone, tablet, laptop, computer that you're using for business purposes. So email on a personal phone is a good example. So these devices must comply with the company BYOD policy. If you haven't got a BYOD policy, ask me, I can give you one, but actually I'd rather you didn't. So basically you need to be able to remotely wipe that device. Now, if that person's got a cat or a dog and they've got thousands of dog photos and you say, I believe you've lost your phone and it's got company email on it, I'm going to wipe your phone. And they go, oh, please don't, I've got my dog photos. So it's really awkward because that person may actually lie to you about them losing their phone. Yeah. If it's a company phone, you wipe it. It belongs to the organization, the charity, the company, right? So it's really difficult. When things go wrong, this is when all this stuff unravels, that actually it's really not good to have cat photos and company emails on the same device. Yeah. So if the device is lost or stolen, you must report it to the organization. We had an employee we suspected lost their phone over the weekend. They lied about it on Monday. We just wiped it. Okay. If they lost their cat photos, that's bad luck. Okay. So we said to them, you shouldn't have company emails on your personal phone. So we're basically got the ability to wipe it. So bring your own device is not recommended. Really, your organization needs to provide a laptop, a mobile phone, a tablet to your people. That needs to be on a sort of mobile device management, MDM. So your IT company will know how to do that. If you get mugged or you lose it or your car gets broken into at the service station or whatever, okay, you phone up your IT company and they can wipe it. All right, and then that device is worth nothing. And they take it into CEX and sell it for 20 quid if they're lucky. All right, but again, there's no data on it because it's wiped. Right, but I don't recommend this. I think you should provide your staff with the right IT to do it. And there's grants available for this for businesses and charities. And again, you don't have to go and buy expensive Apple Macs. You can buy decent laptops, and Office 365 is pretty good these days, etc. So public places, be aware of eavesdroppers, move to a quieter place, work with your back towards the wall. I mean, I don't like working in cafes. I think it's nice to go to a cafe, have a coffee and a cake with someone, chat about the weekend, their hobbies, but it's not really a workplace. You see all these people working in cafes, it makes me absolutely cringe. Yeah. And then you can see their screens. They go to the toilet, they leave the screen running. Oh my goodness. So avoid sensitive conversations. So screen your phone calls. My phone's on silent. Even now, nobody's going to phone me. Right, it's screened. I pretty much have it like that all the time. I wouldn't answer a call on a train or in an airport or in a cafe or anywhere like that. Don't you leave your hardware unattended. Ladies, it's the same for you with your handbags. You wouldn't leave your handbag at a table, go to the toilet and come back. You just wouldn't do it, would you? Yeah, but people do it with their laptops, phones and handbags. It's unbelievable. So you've probably got good practice about your handbag already, or I've got a man bag, so I'm not being sexist. I use a man bag. So I wouldn't leave my man bag at a table unattended, go to the toilet and come back. Yeah, I would take it all with me. If I lose my table, that's just bad luck. I'd rather lose my table than lose my laptop. And me being a cybersecurity computer expert, it'd be really embarrassing, wouldn't it, if you heard that I've got my laptop or phone stolen? Yeah. Also, you can use a privacy screen. So you can get a screen that goes over your laptop screen, and it means it's polarized. You can only see it if you look straight onto the laptop. So if you do have to work in places that are public, then you can do that. The other thing the privacy screen is quite handy for meetings. I don't do loads of meetings because it's sat down a load of fluff. Don't do that. But if you end up doing big meetings with councils and things like that, you might want a privacy screen so the people sat either side of you can't see your screen and what's on it, because you might be writing notes about their organization or them. And that's a bit embarrassing when they collar you at the coffee break. It's true, Gina, isn't it? I've seen people before saying, you wrote a note earlier about this, and they're right. So again, it's a breach of privacy. You need to think about who can see what you're doing and how it might affect them. So that's all physical security. That's all practices about. And there's also things like when you go to the service station for a coffee on the way back from a long business trip, don't leave any of your stuff in your car. I leave my car every time, assuming it's going to get stolen or catch fire. Okay. And I come out, oh no, look, my car's been stolen or caught fire. Never mind, I'll get a new one. Yeah, because I've got a thing called insurance. If in my car was my laptop, my mobile phone, all that kind of stuff, my notebooks and all the useful stuff, I'd be gutted. I'd be more worried about that in the car, wouldn't I? Yeah. So when you leave your car, assume you're never going to see it again. Yeah. You just don't do it. It's just not worth the risk. So take all your stuff with you into the service station, have a coffee, go to the toilet, go back to your car. If the car's still there, brilliant. If it's not, it doesn't matter. You've got your laptop, phone, handbag, man bag. You've got all your stuff with you. It's not a big drama, is it? You just need a new car. Yeah. So digital security, this is all about the computery stuff now. So what is hacking, password management, encryption, data, phishing, stuff like that, and some best practices. So we'll cover those. Is this okay, by the way? I'm going through this quite quickly. All right. So this is now the more computery bits. You might want to start taking some notes about actions and go, oh, I should do that. So hacking is obviously illegal. So basically, this is people seeking to gain access to an electronic device without your permission. This is covered by the Computer Misuse Act 1990. Okay. There are other laws that might be relevant to your business. So Data Protection Act, GDPR obviously affects most of us. Electronic Communications Act, Freedom of Information Act might affect you. There's the Intelligence Processing Act, RIPA 2000, and there's the Privacy and Electronic Communications Act 2003. So there's quite a lot of different laws that cover data moving around, whether it's on the phone or the internet or computers or whatever, okay? Password management. Now, we all absolutely hate passwords, don't we? They're a complete pain in the what's it, okay? So we use a thing called LastPass, okay? It means you get one really strong password, and then you've got a vault where all your other passwords in there. So it's called LastPass, 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 okay? It costs personally £1 a month. We use it for our family, sharing all our bills for BT and energy bills, gas, all that stuff, right? So all of our bills are paperless and all the details are in LastPass. So my wife can log in, do that, I can log in and access it as well. We've got it the same in our business, we use it. We've got hundreds of passwords in our business, as you can imagine. They're all different. They can all be strong and silly, but it actually allows you to log into a website. So if I go to eBay, it will log me in with a username and a password automatically. I don't even have to access the password. It just magic. So have a look at LastPass. It's brilliant. There are other products available, Bitwarden and a few others. But if you've got a little book with all passwords in and you're copying and pasting them into Teams chats, oh, this is the password you need, that's just all wrong. You know that's wrong. Yeah. And you shouldn't be doing it. So use a LastPass, use a password management system. Use strong passwords. So I'll come on to an example later of that. At least 8 characters, but actually you need to use numbers and letters and funny characters now. There's a really good, what's the comedian? The guy that walks up and down with a wobbly head. What's his name? I can't remember his name now. But he does a really good skit about passwords. Yeah, so it's very, very funny. I'll find the link to that actually. And don't use passwords. Yes, it's Michael McIntyre. So if you go onto YouTube, Google Michael McIntyre passwords. All right, it's really funny, but you kind of go, yeah, that's kind of me. All right, Michael McIntyre passwords on YouTube. It's only about 5 minutes long. Watch that, and then you'll go, okay, I now need to go and do a password management system because he's literally guessed all your passwords. All right, you'll laugh with it, and you can hear the audience reaction as well. So use different passwords for different sites and different things. The problem with that is it gets out of hand very quickly. Yeah, so that's why you need a password management system. It says here change passwords regularly. Actually, that I should take that off. Really, you should use strong passwords and don't change them, because the more you change passwords, the more people write them down. Yeah. So use a password management system. That's easy. So encryption, lots of people have heard of. What is this thing, right? So basically, if you're not a super sleuth or used to do coding as a kid or Morse code or anything like that, basically it's translating data into a secret code that nobody else can read, and then only certain people. So the diagram here, you've got the encryption. So you've got a message you want to send. You have a key that changes the message into a load of gobbledygook using the algorithm. You have this ciphertext, which is the encoded message, and it's just gobbledygook. Nobody, unless they've got that key, would understand it. You can put that data all over the internet, everywhere in the world. Nobody would better break it. They'd be like, what is this rubbish, right? Whoever's got the key would be able to unlock it and turn it back into the plain text, okay? So that's how that works. So when you send emails, all that stuff is going as ciphertext, as plain text, sorry, which means people can read everything. If you zip up your thing as a zip file with a password, email that out as an attachment, the only person that can encrypt that and read the content is the person you've already spoken to on the phone or sent a text message to on this thing to give them the password. Don't send an email with the attachment and the next email contains the password to it. It kind of defeats the object. So use a text message or over the phone explain the password. So we have with different customers, we have a password for each customer. So we use that to share information. All right. So that's what encryption is. So here's an example. If that's a bike lock and it's got 3 numbers, okay, and I set a code, how many combinations are there to that bike lock? It's a maths question, this is. Everyone loves math. All right. So what numbers can I set on that? This is why I like making it interactive. So it's
9.
So 9. No, so it's basically I can set 000 to 999. So how many combinations is that?
Thousands.
1,000. It's exactly 1,000, Pauline. Yeah. So there's 1,000. But would you agree if I sat there long enough for about half an hour, I could probably go through 000, 001, 002, 003, right? So if this was a dark and shady evening and there was nobody around and it was by a railway station, I could break into that lock probably within about 5 or 10 minutes with a bit of patience. Yeah. So it's not very good, is it? Yeah. It's 1,000 combinations. So what about that one in 4 numbers? That's a bit better, isn't it? So that's 10,000 combinations. So that would take me a few hours, and I'd probably make a mistake and miss out the one that was at, you know. So now you've got characters. So C is character. So this could be 0 to 9, A to Z, funny special characters. 12 characters there. How many combinations do you reckon that would make for if I was going to use that as a password?
Millions of combinations.
100 million, yeah.
100 million, billions, trillions. It's actually that many. So I've done Birmingham here with a bit of numbers and characters. Okay. So basically there are, for each character, you've got A to Z, 26 characters, A to Z uppercase, another 26, 10 numbers and 30 special characters. Yeah. So those who are quick at maths will work out that's 82 different combinations per character. And if you do 82 to the power of 12, it's 367 quintillion, basically. Okay. So suddenly going from numbers to characters and just 12 characters, you've got now that would take me forever and millions of light years to basically work out, sat there trying to break into your bicycle. Yeah. So you only need 12 characters and a password, but you need to use numbers and letters and special characters to make it so it's robust like that. So the more combinations, obviously, the harder it is to work out the password or the PIN number. Yeah. So protecting data in transit, this is you sending information to another party. You can send it an email, attachment, or FTP or some other protocol, but you need to have a shared password agreed in advance by alternative means, as they say in the military. So second means, so text message or WhatsApp message, a password, but the email obviously contains the thing. So that's how we work. Yeah. Protecting data at rest. So data at rest, you got it on your file server, you can still zip it up on a file server. So if somebody physically stole the disk out of the office or somebody hacked into it, all they've got is a load of zip files on a file server. So again, that's super protected. Yeah. And you can do that on a memory stick as well. Yeah, USB memory sticks, again, I recommend don't use those anymore. They're so easy to lose. CDs and DVDs are the same. Yeah. Now, the main thing about this multi-factor authentication, you're probably using these kind of things for the banks already. Okay, so if you've got any software that like Zero or Sage or any sort of tool that you've got, if you've got the ability to turn on multi-factor authentication, then you should do. This is the biggest recommendation that the NCSC recommend. That's the National Cybersecurity Centre. So, and also insurance companies are starting to look at, are your devices and your software systems protected by multi-factor? Because if you've got a username and a password, that's hard enough to crack. But if you've got another means as well, like one of these devices, it's almost impossible because you've got to have all of the username and password and the device and the card all at the same time. Yeah. So use these. So that blue screen there is Zero. We use Zero for accounting. It's got multi-factor on it, and you can do remember for 30 days. After 30 days, it asks you to re-authenticate again. Okay. So use these authenticators. You're probably using them already, but you probably need to use them a bit more. And then phishing, this is key. Some of you are probably directors of your organizations. So you'll be targeted on LinkedIn as a director of whatever charity, or director of community organization, or director of business. So, you know, by going on LinkedIn and putting your new job title on there, you're actually making yourself a bit of a target. So just be mindful of that. Same for you've probably got NEDs as well. Some of you might have non-executive directors. Again, if they put on LinkedIn, I'm a NED of this community organization, they're now suddenly a target to your organization by them putting that online. So just be really careful. So these are phishing attacks where people are trying to get into your systems by sending you an email. Hey, it was nice to meet you last week on the cybersecurity presentation in Birmingham. Click on this link to sign up to our newsletter. Oh, that sounds really cool. And then you click on the link and it goes, oh, I noticed you've got Office 365 account. Log in that for a speedy entrance. Absolutely brilliant. Log in there. Oh, sorry, there's a problem. Oh, that's a shame. Well, what you've just done is inadvertently given someone your username and password for your Office 365 account, which they can now go and log into all your email and Teams and SharePoint and all that rhubarb. So that's a phishing attack. It looks genuine, it sucks you in, you sort of believe it. It coincides with something like booking a holiday or a business trip or an event in Birmingham, and suddenly you log in and you realize, that's it. So if you do that, immediately change your password or speak to your IT people and say, look, I've just clicked on this link and logged in and I think it's actually dodgy. So report it as quick as possible. A whaling attack is when they actually try to, so fish is obviously small, whales are huge, right? So this is someone trying to get like Alan Sugar or Richard Branson's email address and password. So they try a number of social activities of meeting you at events or logging on LinkedIn or sending you emails, and they try and social engineer you into basically getting your details. Yeah, and also telephone calls. Be really careful. I don't answer any phone calls that come up without a contact name in. Okay, so Pauline will come up. Pauline, I might ask Pauline. If it came up with another number, 07 or something, I don't even answer it. I'll let it screen it to mobile, to answer my voicemail. Yeah, and then if they leave you a message, oh hi Pauline, oh it's just right, okay, got it. So then add the people to your contacts, and then it should come up next time. So don't answer any calls from any number that doesn't come up that's got a contact on your phone. Let it go to your voicemail and then screen it and then work out and then add the contact if you want to. Or you can block them. If it's someone you go, I don't want to deal with this organization, you can actually block them. Yeah. So telephone calls are just equally as bad as well. So phishing emails, some of them are really easy to see, some are hard. The one on the left here is genuine because if you look at the top, it says activate your new account. You think, oh, that sounds service@paypal.com, and then it's welcome to PayPal. Okay, and it's got a link in there, confirm my email address. Yeah, would I click that one? Yes. The one on the right, oh, account status update, log into dear customer. That looks really good. But if you look at the top, it's PayPal link. Okay, that's American. PTC.clientmail. What's that? March SEO. What is all that rhubarb? That sounds dodgy to me. Copied in mail@ppl.com. That's to me dodgy, right? So if you're not sure about this stuff, show it to a colleague. If you're still not sure, just delete it. If it's important, they'll write to you or they'll try again, won't they? Yeah. So these are dodgy, and these are getting really clever. Again, the one on the left here, that's dodgy. The one on the right looks like an Amazon one. Update your payment. Hello, all this. It's got all the logos and everything. But if you look at the top, it's kalian.negentoo.com. It'd be really easy if you're tired and busy and you're working on a small screen, you can't read that, and you click on that, update your payment. That's it. They've got you. All right. And these are successful. 40% of people click on emails that are like these, and only 10% of those actually click the link. But if you work out the maths on that, that means for every 100 phishing emails sent out, 4 people will actually click on the link. 4%. If those of you do social media marketing, that's like a really good conversion rate, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So tips for spotting email address. Just looking at time now, I've got about 7 minutes. Yeah. Check the email address. Just make sure the reply email address. If you're not sure, do reply and see what comes up. Yeah. If it looks dodgy, just delete it. Oh, that's wrong. They're generally sent from people, and English isn't their main language. So if there's anything dodgy about spelling, you're thinking Google, Microsoft, Apple, their people should be pretty good at English. They're American or British companies. If the English doesn't read well or there's spelling mistakes, it's a massive red flag. Okay, either that or somebody in their marketing team is going to get fired, aren't they? So, yeah. Legitimate companies will contain a piece of information which isn't available. So they might say, "Hi, Pauline. and then something about your address or whatever, and you go, they wouldn't know that, a hacker, would they? There would just no way they'd know it. So when you read some of these letters and emails, you're getting assurance from the organization that it is actually them, because they've put something in on purpose that nobody else would know, and you go, okay, this is genuine. Right? It's clever because they're having to evade the criminals. But just be really cautious when clicking on a link from a friend. They go, oh, hi, have you seen this funny sketch from Michael McIntyre? Just click on this link Steve said about. Right? Oh my God, no, I'm not going to do that. Were you expecting it? No. Is it usual that friend sends you links about Michael McIntyre sketch? No. Just delete it. You can always phone your friend. Hey, mate, you just sent me this link. What's that about? Have I didn't know that. Oh my goodness. If you're unsure, contact someone at the company, go through the website and just say, hi, I've received this email from HSBC. Is it legit? And they'll let you know. Okay. And don't rush. Just take your time with this stuff. Yeah. We often get asked, is online banking safe to use? Are emails from banks safe to open? How are criminals able to still take money from our accounts? Because they do. So many good questions. So we've been asked these at events before, so I've put these in here. So my personal thing on banks is just delete all the emails from banks. I wish, if I was Prime Minister tomorrow, I'd say, can we say every bank in the UK, stop sending emails to any customer? If you receive an email from a bank, it won't be from a bank, because the banks don't send emails anymore, because Steve's law said that. All right. So I delete everything from a bank and building societies, just delete everything, unsubscribe from their things, delete it, mark it as junk, don't even get it. If it's important, they'll write to you. Yeah. Check your payees regularly as well. So those of you who've got access to a bank, go into your bank, online banking, go down the payees list. This person left 2 years ago. We don't buy from them anymore. Delete all the old payees. Okay, just try and tidy those up. Yeah. So just in case. And also have a look at those payees. Has anyone set up a one that I didn't know about? Try and purge all the old payees just to keep sure. That's mainly, sometimes this is about fraud. So your next presentation, Pauline, ask them about that, financial fraud. Yeah. They call it authorized push payment, APP. It's where you get a payment, you pay a supplier, it goes out, and then suddenly you realize it's not that supplier, it's somebody else. But you've gone through all your process of that invoice being checked, and suddenly that's it. What we do, new payees or new employees, we pay somewhere between £1 and £2 to the bank. So if Pauline started working for me next week, on her first day, she'd say, here's my bank details. I would pay like £1.23 into her bank account. Then I'd say, Pauline, I've just paid an amount into your bank. Can you check it for me, and how much is it? And she'd go, oh yeah, I've just received £1.23 from CYBX. Brilliant. So I now know when it's payday at the end of September, her salary is going to go into her bank account, not into some dodgy other bank account, or I've made a typo. If I've made a typo, someone's got £1.23, I'm not really worried about that, am I? Yeah.
A test payment.
Yeah, test payment. Yeah. Do a test payment. Better to lose £1.23 than thousands of pounds.
Yeah.
And I've had customers have lost £40,000 because they've paid the wrong account, and that's a bit stressful, isn't it? Trying to get that back. IoT devices, I don't know if this counts for any of you, but if you've got home heating systems or smart technology in the office, these are all they need securing. Our thermostat in our house is one of the old-fashioned mechanical ones that clicks when it's the temperature, so nobody can hack into that and screw up our heating system. So just be really careful if you're dealing with IoT devices and smart buildings. Just ask questions about how it's being secured, because it's another load of computer stuff that's going to be potentially hacked. I won't cover any more of that. So security standards coming towards the end now. Cyber Essentials scheme. Some of you have probably already got Cyber Essentials because you just probably have to have it. This is the minimum standard. It's like Waitrose essential beans. They taste like beans, but they're not Heinz, but they're okay. All right, but you can do better. It's the minimum standard. It's certification. It just shows your staff and your customers that you're taking cybersecurity seriously. Okay. And you've probably got insurance in place, but it's good to have this as well, just to show that you're trying. Cyber Essential Scheme Plus, it's for sort of slightly higher risk organizations dealing with, like, government data, personal information. So it's basically Cyber Essentials plus you get an independent assessment of your company IT, and you get an actual expert looks at the results of the scan, and they look at your Cyber Essentials and try and work out if your sort of risk is okay. So those are good things to do. If you haven't got Cyber Essentials, don't try and rush out and do it tomorrow. plan it in for your next quarter. Maybe do it in Q1 next year. Start researching it now and get it together. So any policies and procedures you've got missing. Yeah. ISO 27001, that's like the gold standard. So if you're a big organization, that would be the standard you would get, but you need internal people to manage that. But that's the kind of top thing you can achieve. So in summary, my top tips: get your people trained, security awareness training and refresher training. That's a great start. So this course we've just done very speedily. Normally it's 2 or 3 hours, quite interactive with some tasks and some action plans and things and risk assessments and whatnot. So this is a good start. You've been proactive by coming onto this. So well done to Pauline and Gina for organising it. You're obviously curious about this and want to know more. So you've done a great start just by coming on something like this. Try and get your organisation certified to Cyber Essentials as a start point, and then work on a journey of progressing that over a few years. And then communicate this stuff, let people know, let your customers know, suppliers know, partners, stakeholders, board, non-executives, whatever you've got. Say, hey, we've just got Cyber Essentials. Yeah, we're taking care of your data, our customer data. We're taking this stuff seriously. And then you've got basic supply chain resilience. So you're in the supply chain to your stakeholders and grant funders and all parent organizations, but you've also your people accessing your services. They're part of your community and your supply chain as well. Put the logos for Cyber Essentials on your website, on your flyers, and your case studies. When you do a grant application, put in, we are a great organization. We should be awarded this grant because we're going to do good stuff. By the way, we've also got Cyber Essentials. We take our IT security really seriously. Yeah, that could get you an extra mark over somebody else, and then you secure that funding or secure that project or whatever. Yeah. There you go. I'm 1 minute over,
Great.
Pauline. Sorry.
Brilliant. Thanks, Steve. That was a whistle-stop presentation, and you covered so much. I really appreciate it. Next session is on frauds and scams next week, same time next week. So hopefully we'll see some or all of you back there. Do sign up. Gina has sent you the link, and she can send it out again.
Okay.
And thanks for coming today, and have a great rest of your day.